We're back again with the Vox Pop program. Today we're out at the community gardens out off Hummock Pond Road, and we're going to be talking to some gardeners and find out what's going on around here. We're talking to Bob Salisbury, the president of the Nantucket Community Gardens. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, Mike. How
Good.
are you?
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the program is and how it got started and what your involvement is here?
Okay, the program began back in 1991. And we developed it with about 3 or 4 key people, all of whom who have left. And since then, we've developed into a group of 23 people with 35 plots. And we've been going for 6 years. We've got a lease on the land from Franny Pease, who was our neighbor right next door. And he keeps us real happy, and we keep him happy by keeping him out of his hair, keeping us out of his hair.
Right.
And he enjoys having us, and we enjoy being here.
How does the garden work? How does one get involved? What does it cost? Who runs the operation like that?
I just got elected president, so anybody who's interested can contact me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The plots are 20 by 20. They cost $30 a year, and some people have just 1 plot. Some people have 3 or 2. It just varies depending on how much they want to do.
And they can grow anything they want.
They can grow
that's legal.
Anything. I was going to say anything they want that's legal.
And they can't. No cash crops are allowed.
No cash crops. Nothing commercial. Nothing can be sold.
Right.
It's all for personal consumption.
And I'm guessing there are various levels of involvement. Some people are out here all the time. Some just come by once in a while, and like that.
Some of our people work full time and just can't come out except in the evenings or early morning or on weekends. And others like me, I'm retired. I can come out and spend all day if I want to. And sometimes I do.
Mr. Pease.
This is Francis Pease.
How are you? Hi, I'm Michael Kopko. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir. How come you're letting these guys do this on your land?
Property about 3 years ago, and they came with it.
Oh, they came with it, huh? And is it working out for you okay?
No problem to me. They come and go, and they never know when they come or when they go.
Good neighbors?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Excellent neighbors.
And what benefit do you get out of it as the landlord?
None.
Just makes you feel good, does it?
Sure.
Well, that's a good thing.
I did a lot of my growing up out here. I was boyhood chum with Frank Powers Sr., and we went through grade school, high school together, and worked together after the war. And so I have a fondness for the place.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful property.
Yes, it's nice.
Now, this big chunk of property over here, there's just been in the news a lot going on about that property over there, hasn't there? Can you tell us something about that?
Well, I can only tell you that was part of the original farm.
Right.
Beyond that, where the garden plots are, down to the swamp. And Frank Powers Jr. just sold it to the land bank.
Right.
And what they're going to do with it remains to be seen. Maybe the community gardens will expand.
What do you think about that, Bob? Do you think we can work something out with the land bank over there?
I've already approached land bank and have written a letter to them, and I talked to Eric Savetsky. And he asked me to write a letter, which I did, and it was supposed to be presented to the land bank, and we'll just see what develops. I don't think they've got any immediate idea as to what's going to happen with the property, but it would certainly be ideal for us. If they're willing, we're willing.
Ben, what do you know about this? Ben Jesser knows something about everything on the island. I happen to
Mike,
know.
I got interested because I lived for about 4 or 5 years in Europe, and almost every town of every size has a community garden where people go out. It's not only a source of vegetables and food and everything, but a source of social contacts. And so although I have a fairly big garden now, I've just sold it because it's more than I can handle. And I can't wait to get to work on that plot over there. But I'd like to give you a little of my philosophy on gardening.
Yeah.
One is, the first item is that I think it's the best physical, mental, and spiritual exercise there is. And the second is that having lived in Europe for 4 or 5 years, and of course in the States, I've observed gardeners, and I find that gardeners live longer than the estate owners. So
Interesting.
well, it is, and it's a matter of fact. But
Now, when you talk about mental, physical, spiritual health and gardening, tell us something about that.
I used to be in the engineering construction industry, and I'll tell you, you come home, and if you've spent the whole day arguing with the labor unions,
Right.
you've had it. And when you get home and just stick your finger, it's just the best thing in the world.
And I'm sure the union guy would tell you, if you spent the whole day arguing with management all day, they want to come home and work in the garden, right?
I think you take these mental institutions, what they ought to have is community gardens, and they'd get those people out of there faster than all this highfalutin medical treatment. It's just great. And physical exercise, bending over.
And there's nothing quite like a good tomato to make you feel real good.
And of course, every English garden has this little plaque in it which says, "I feel closer to God in my garden than any place else in Earth." So that gets the spiritual, the physical, and the mental.
It makes sense to me.
Right.
Is this a new plot behind Gino over here?
This is the last plot that was cultivated for this year, and he is supposed to be here, but I don't see him. His name is Les Ottinger. And he just started up about a month ago, and planted all kinds of stuff. I don't know what he's got in here, but it looks good, and he's got a good start. And I think primarily he planted stuff that will be coming up in the fall.
Right. Now you said something before about tilling too. What do you pay $30 a year, sort of an annual?
$30 a year per plot. Per year.
And what's the cost to get it tilled when you start out?
It's $25 a plot. So if you can hand till it yourself, or you can have it tilled. Some people prefer hand tilling, and some people prefer.
Now, are there rules about organic and use of chemicals and things like that?
We try to stay as organic as we can. We do prohibit pesticides. Some people do use organic fertilizer, fish emulsions and things like that. But everything we do tries to be natural and organic, as organic as we can make it feasibly.
Great. Let's you want to head over to this garden here? Who do we have over here gardening?
This is Harry and Fran, who's back there.
Hi, Harry.
Fran.
How you doing?
How are you? I'm Michael Kopko.
Hi, Mike.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're just out, talking to gardeners, finding out what's going on out here. This is your patch here?
This is our patch.
This looks like a double to me.
It is a double.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of bare because we've already harvested a lot of potatoes and so forth.
Potatoes?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Grow about everything.
Yeah. The beans.
And I'm sorry, your name is?
Fran.
Fran, hi. Now can I ask you, what do you guys do for a living, for example?
I'm in the investment business.
Investment,
in
right?
Boston.
In Boston. So you're down here for the summer, pretty much?
Well, I'm back and forth. Fran's a teacher, so she's here all summer.
Right, okay.
So she does the watering and weeding. And I just come down and eat the stuff.
And what made you want to get involved with the community garden out here, down here?
Well, it's we like to grow vegetables, and we have a home in town, but it's we don't have enough space. So it was a great opportunity for us to grow vegetables.
Right.
But Harry was also grew up on a small farm in Franklin, Mass. So it's just part of his life that he has to have his summer vegetable garden. So wherever we've lived, we've had a garden.
And what we were talking to Ben Jesser earlier. He was talking about sort of mental, physical, and spiritual health that one draws from gardening.
I think
can you attest to that for us?
Remember years ago, Herman told us what makes a rich and healthy person, and one of the music. If you have music, if you have a hobby, and if you do something with plants.
It's Dan O'Toole's garden. I know Dan, Big Dan.
Right.
He's a great guy, and he's obviously put a lot of work into this garden. What can you tell us about that?
He's one of our most original gardeners, and we're real proud of him. He's been here 2 years. This is his second year. And when he started, he decided he wanted raised bed gardening. So he went out to take it and leave it, and out to the dump, and out to Bruce Killen's dumpster, and got a whole bunch of lumber and put together a raised bed garden, which is what this is, with all kinds of funky little things like sewer pipe, and he's got some pieces of marble,
Right.
and he's got some pieces of brain coral, and all kinds of real fascinating stuff.
He's got cactus over there at the entranceway, and
he's got
herbs
moss and herbs and just all kinds of stuff.
yeah. And look
I'm hungry.
Now look at these herbs over here, Gino. I just want to see how he's got these clay pipes here
Yeah.
that he found at the dump.
Oh.
And he's planted herbs in here, dill on top and chives around. Just found objects, and phenomenal.